On other headlines, the Brazilian president's being blamed for not doing enough to stop the outbreak of coronavirus. That as the death toll in the country goes past 6,000. Jair Bolsonaro earlier dismissed the virus as being nothing more than a little flu. On Friday, a Brazilian court gave the president 48 hours to release his COVID test, saying he hasn't done so yet. RT's Maupin has the details.
New cases of coronavirus are turning up in Brazil each day. The numbers are mounting. The death rate is estimated to be much higher due to limited testing. We've got Brazil preparing big graveyards, anticipating lots of victims. Brazil's president has been reluctant to acknowledge the threat of coronavirus. Now, with over 6,000 deaths, this is his response.
So what? I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? Messias is my middle name, but I don't do miracles.
Questions have been raised about Bolsonaro's own coronavirus test. Courts have ordered him under threat of penalties to reveal the results.
All power emanates from people, and people have the right to be informed about the real state of health of their elected representative. Their refusal to provide test results is illegitimate. Transparency and the right of access to public information should prevail.
The political climate in Brazil is heating up as well. Bolsonaro is now facing lots of opposition. The Supreme Court has ordered a probe into allegations that Bolsonaro interfered in police investigations. This could lead potentially to criminal charges as well as removal from office. Sergio Moro accused the president of having fired the federal police chief and implied that he had done so for political reasons.
Starting from the second quarter of the last year, the president began to insist to change the command of the federal police. The president told me more than once that he wanted a director who was a close acquaintance of his, someone he could call, gather information, intelligence reports, a director or a superintendent who could do that. This is not the federal police role, to report this kind of information.
Bolsonaro insists he didn't do anything illegal.
They were talking about my interference within the federal police. Oh well, if I can by law change a minister, why can't I change the head of the federal police? I don't need to ask for permission from anybody to change the director or anyone in the pyramid of the executive power.
The resignation has sparked fears that a wider political crisis could soon unfold.
Moro resigning is a bad thing, a shot in Bolsonaro's credibility. Since Sergio Moro is a popular figure who fought corruption, him leaving the government and not feeling good there, it's a terrible sign.
His exit is an indicator of the things that are not right, should not happen, since everyone wants things to be okay. So I believe his exit will also push for other changes in this government, and everybody hopes there will be good changes for Brazil.
Brazil's neighbors are quite alarmed by the country's lax approach to the pandemic. They fear that the largest country in South America could become a super spreader.
A lot of traffic is coming from Sao Paulo, where the infection rate is extremely high, and it doesn't appear to me that the Brazilian government is treating it with the seriousness that it requires. That worries me a lot.
I've ordered the reinforcement of Venezuela's border with Brazil to create an epidemiological barrier.
Paraguay recently dug a trench on its border. Amid the pandemic, many are watching Brazil very closely. The country could be sitting on a political time bomb. Maupin, RT, New York.
Well, the main outbreaks in Brazil have hit wealthy communities, but cases in the poor and densely populated favelas could be catastrophic. Local gang leaders have imposed strict containment measures in poor areas, unlike the rules the government has rolled out. Investigative media team Redfish has been taking a look at how gang-ruled areas are adapting.
In favelas across Brazil, local banditos, the gang members, are stopping some of their usual activities to prevent a coronavirus outbreak in their neighborhoods.
Toque de recolher da comunidade está sendo 100% rígido. Ninguém está mais saindo de casa. Todo mundo em suas casas.
Despite drug sales being down, the instructions coming from the gang leader is to impose a curfew on all the residents. This is in stark contrast to the leader of the country, Bolsonaro, who has told people to go back to work and reverse lockdowns put in place by regional officials. In favelas like this, the gangs are in charge. The only visible government institution here are the armed police. They come in to do raids.
As oportunidades que o governo oferece são poucas. Eles são muito capitalistas. Eles não pensam na sociedade, nas pessoas mais pobres.
E distribuir máscara, luva, álcool em gel, ajudando o morador, porque não adianta ter o tráfico, mas o morador é o coração da favela.
Eu acho bom o tráfico, o crime organizado distribuir álcool em gel, porque é um meio deles ajudarem a comunidade.
When the tourism trade, restaurants, and shops closed in March, it shut off the income of the favela, and many are now relying on food parcels. Although the populist Bolsonaro wants to keep the poor in his side by offering them a small basic income during the COVID shutdown, many don't have bank accounts or smartphones, both of which are needed to access support payments. The price of food and basic goods has also risen sharply in recent months as a result of Brazil's existing economic crisis. But at least in these favelas, the cost of protective equipment is being paid for by the bandidos.